Good morning. It's Thursday, August 12th, and I got a hallelujah for today. Because on the Senate floor, they passed a bipartisan bill yesterday. The $1.2 trillion Infrastructure Bill. Final vote was 69-30, and that represents a big bipartisan victory. It came after months of intense negotiations. And now it's being sent to the House for the final steps in getting this bill into law. But we know that the bill is going to encounter new challenges in the House because there are representatives who are leaning to the left, who are not satisfied with everything that is in this bill. And they want to spend more money. And they may not vote for this bill right away. But Nancy has a couple of votes to spare, so she can get it passed without the vote on the left. But let me tell you how monumental this bill really is. There has never been anything like this passed in our lifetime. I will give you a rundown right now of all of the features that are buried in this bill. Hang on. As I look at these numbers, I'm not sure there's even enough money in there to cover some of these things. But here we go. $110 billion. The power infrastructure, $73 billion. High-speed internet, $65 billion. Trains, $66 billion. Clean water, $55 billion. And the list goes on. Public transport, $39 billion. Airports, $25 billion. Environmental remediation. Who the hell knows what that is? But that's $21 billion. Ports, that's ships, ports. Not airports, ports. $17 billion. And electric vehicle charging stations, $7.5 billion. Now, that's a lot of money to spend, but I don't even think it's enough money. So it's crazy. It's crazy, but it's the greatest bill we've had in probably since the New Deal. So I can say with certainty that in my lifetime, there's never been a bill like this. There's never been a bill passed like this before. This covers so many different bases that it's going to be an amazing thing if it really gets off the ground. Out there that didn't believe that this could ever happen in their lifetime. And the amazing thing is there are 19 Republicans that voted with us. I say us, the Democrats, like I'm voting, A slip of the tongue, I'm sorry about that. But did you ever imagine that this was going to happen like this? I didn't. Now, I have plenty to say about some other things related to this, but maybe I'll get to them later on in this spiel. So one thing that has happened in this is that it gives me a little bit of hope that maybe we are not as broken a country as I thought, as I have been preaching for the last couple of months. The mere fact that we were able to get 19 Republicans to vote with the Democrats is a big step forward. And maybe there are chinks in the Republican armor. People are realizing that we have to get together and get things done. So that's a wonderful thing that came out of this bill. We see that the Senate is capable of getting together. We see that. Is that something that I had never envisioned for a while? And even Mitch McConnell seemed to be in favor of this bill, although I don't know if he voted for it or not. But this is a little bit of light shining through the darkness, so to speak, that we were able to get this done. However, it's not over, because in the House, there are many people who want more, as I said before, and we'll see how that goes. As a sideline to this bill, The filibuster, which many were hoping to get rid of, is now alive and well. Because if they were able to pass this bill, in spite of the filibuster still being in effect, that's a good thing. I'm not against the filibuster. I think that in many, many cases, we need to spend time to hash out the details of many things. So this bill, this large bill, is leading us in a direction that we want to go. I think most of us want to go in this direction. And hopefully this will be a stepping stone. Because coming up behind this thing is the reconciliation package, which is $3.5 trillion, which makes this bill look like bupkis. And reconciliation covers many things that need to be covered, but I'm not sure we can pay for everything. And that is the one thing that drives me nuts. The one thing that I haven't heard a good solution to is how we're going to pay it. I've heard rumors that people who earn up to $400,000 would not have to chip in with any tax increases to pay for this bill. And I think that's wrong. Somehow or other, everybody should be paying a little bit for this bill, either with volunteer work. How about all of those people who got stimulus checks and are not working? How about they have to volunteer something? I don't know how we're going to pay for this thing, but I don't think anybody has even come up with the slightest reasonable suggestion. It's easy to say let the rich pay for it, but somehow or other that bothers me. I think everybody who benefits from these bills ought to pay a little something for them. But that's a whole other discussion. You know what I'm thinking too also is that Congress and the Senate and many people who work for the government haven't got a clue about business and economics. And maybe one of the problems is that they're not educated when they get to Congress. Yeah, they may have a master's degree in law, or they may be a doctor, or they may be something else, some other kind of professional. But they're not true businessmen, and they're not true to the fact that they don't really understand how business works. And if you're in the government, you are among the management team of the largest business in this country. Millions of employees, millions of things that are going on, and you haven't got a clue about how to run a company. But you're in the House or the Senate, and you get to vote on things. And maybe that's a big mistake. Maybe when you become a senator or when you become a congressman, when you're a rookie, when you won your first election, maybe we ought to ship you off to graduate school to take a couple of courses in business management and things like that. So then we won't have people talking out of their mouth about stupid things, about how to do this and how to do that and why these people need something, but they're not paying for it. Nobody's paying for it. Where's the money coming from? All of those things are important, but they're not included in these packages. This package says we're going to spend all this money, but there's nothing concrete in how to pay for it. And that bothers me. I'm in favor of this bill. We need this work done, but we also need to have a fair and equitable way of paying for it. And I've said this before, so I'm probably annoying the shit out of you. So in any event, that's all I have for today, and I'll see you in the morning. Bye.